Imagine waking up to a world where the lights don't turn on. The first 24 hours feel like a minor inconvenience. Most of us would assume it's just a temporary glitch, an outage that will soon be rectified. But what if it's not? As the day progresses, you begin to notice things. Your refrigerator is off, the food's getting warmer, your phone starts dying, and you're suddenly cut off from the digital world. The heat or air conditioning stops, making your home uncomfortable. The reality of our deep-seated dependence on digital life becomes painfully obvious. No GPS to guide your way, no digital payments to buy what you need, no streaming services to entertain you, and no lights to dispel the darkness. While you're grappling with these personal inconveniences, there's a larger crisis unfolding behind the scenes. Gas pumps shut down, unable to function without power. Grocery stores go cash only, if they're open at all. The digital credit-based economy we've grown so accustomed to suddenly grinds to a halt. As evening falls, the lights that usually dot the cityscape are absent. The world is eerily dark and quiet. The lack of artificial light brings a fresh wave of realization. The power isn't coming back, not tonight at least. It's at this point that people without stored water or food start to feel the pinch. The comforting thought of, "it's just temporary," begins to wane. The reality of the situation starts to sink in. We're vulnerable, far more vulnerable than we ever thought we could be in our modern, technology-driven world. As the first day ends, those without stored water or food start to feel the pinch. The power outage is no longer a minor inconvenience. It's a threat to the comfortable, convenient lifestyles we've taken for granted. And it's only the beginning of what's to come. But remember, awareness is the first step towards preparation. So let's gear up and dive deeper into what happens when the lights go out and they don't come back on. Day 2 dawns, and the convenience of modern life is a distant memory. The hum of refrigeration, the comforting glow of screens, the easy access to information and communication, all have gone silent. The freezer is thawing, and the reality of a world without power is starting to set in. The impact is immediate and far-reaching. No more swiping cards for groceries or pumping gas for the commute. The digital world we've built, that we've become so reliant on, has vanished. Public transport grinds to a halt, and the once reliable 911 is now a gamble. The phrase "no service" takes on a whole new meaning, and it's not just the digital life that's been hit. The basic amenities we take for granted are also starting to fail. Water purification plants are stalling, as are sewage systems. The tap water that was once safe to drink is now a question mark. The ripple effect of this power outage is becoming more apparent. ATMs are nothing more than metal boxes. Banks? They're just buildings. The cashless society we've embraced is now our Achilles heel. The digital wealth stored in the cloud is inaccessible, and those without hard cash are left empty-handed. Panic is starting to take hold. The scramble for resources begins. Ice, batteries, candles. Commodities that were once plentiful are now in high demand. The quiet, orderly queues we're accustomed to have given way to frantic, desperate crowds. At home, the situation isn't any better. Those without alternative methods of heating or cooking are feeling the chill. Homes that were once sanctuaries are now cold, dark, and uncomfortable. And the situation is even more dire for those who need power for medical reasons. But perhaps the most chilling breakdown is happening in our hospitals. These bastions of hope and healing are also feeling the strain of the power outage. They're now running on backup power, but it's a temporary solution at best. The life-saving equipment, the sterile environment, the round-the-clock care, all are at risk. As night falls on the second day, hospitals are switching to limited backup power. It's a stark reminder of our vulnerability, and a sobering preview of what's to come. If this is what day 2 looks like, what will day 3 bring? On the third day, reality bites. The novelty of the situation has worn off, and the true gravity of the situation begins to sink in. Hunger gnaws at every stomach, as most people haven't eaten a full meal in over 48 hours. The food in the fridge is spoiled, and the freezer is thawing. The convenience stores are looted, and the grocery shelves are empty. Without power, cooking becomes a luxury in mealtime, a stark reminder of the dire situation. Sanitation, too, begins to deteriorate rapidly. Garbage trucks aren't running, the toilets won't flush, and the water taps run dry. The stench of rot and waste begins to permeate the air, turning homes into health hazards. And with the fall of sanitation comes the rise of desperation. Tempers, already frayed, snap. Neighbors turn against each other, fights break out over dwindling resources, and the cities become dangerous battlegrounds. The thin veneer of civility peels away, revealing the primal survival instinct underneath. Looting begins in earnest, as people scramble for the remnants of a world they took for granted. Meanwhile, the lack of power is felt in more ways than one. Fuel trucks, those lifelines of modern civilization, sit idle. Without electricity, they can't pump the gas they carry. This means no restocking of grocery stores, no replenishment of supplies. The scarcity, already palpable, intensifies. Law enforcement too is crippled. Without power, their communication systems are down, and their response time is drastically slowed. The thin blue line that separates order from chaos is stretched to the breaking point. The third day is a turning point. It's the day when the power outage stops being a temporary inconvenience and starts being a survival situation. It's the day when people realize that they are not just facing a power outage, but a complete societal breakdown. By the end of the third day, if you don't already have water, food, light, heat, and security, you're behind. The race against time has begun. Without these basic necessities, survival becomes a daily struggle. And for those who are unprepared, the struggle is uphill. So, as the sun sets on the third day, the world is a different place. It's a world where the strong prey on the weak, where the prepared thrive, and the unprepared suffer. It's a world where every meal is a victory, every sip of water a blessing, and every moment of safety a luxury. This is the reality of the third day. This is the collapse. And this is why you need to prepare, because when the lights go out, they might not come back on. By the end of the third day, if you don't already have water, food, light, heat, and security, you're behind. Why do most people not survive past the third day? This is a question that has many answers, but they all circle back to one central theme: lack of preparation. When the lights go out and don't come back on, the reality of our modern dependency on electricity becomes painfully clear. The first hurdle is temperature control. Without electricity, many homes quickly become too hot or too cold. This can be more than just uncomfortable. It can be dangerous, especially for the elderly or the very young. Yet, many people have no backup heating or cooling systems in place. Next comes water. We all know that humans can't survive more than 3 days without it. But without electricity, many water purification systems fail, and shockingly, very few people have stored water or have any method to purify it. This leaves them at the mercy of whatever water sources are available, which may not be clean or safe. Another major challenge is food. Without electricity, there's no way to cook unless you've set up a non-electric cooking system, and if the power is out for more than a day, any food in the freezer will start to thaw and eventually spoil. Yet many people have no plan for how they'll cook or what they'll eat without power. Lighting and communication are also crucial. Without electricity, the nights are dark and the days can be isolating. A lack of light can make even simple tasks difficult, and without communication, it's hard to know what's happening or to reach out for help. Yet many people don't have backup lighting or communication systems in place. Lastly, there's security and sanitation. Without power, security systems fail, and without running water, sanitation quickly becomes a problem. Yet many people have no plan for how they'll secure their homes or dispose of waste without electricity. They didn't plan for a real failure. This is the stark truth. When the power goes out and doesn't come back on, those who haven't prepared are left in the dark, quite literally. So the question is not why most people fail, it's why aren't more people prepared. So how can you avoid becoming a statistic? Let's dive into the practical steps you can take to prepare for a power outage and ensure that you and your loved ones remain safe, secure, and comfortable. Firstly, water is the essence of life. Without it, survival is impossible. Hence, you should store a minimum of 3 gallons of water per person per day. This will cover your drinking, cooking, and basic hygiene needs. Remember, in the event of a power outage, your regular water supply may not be functioning or may become contaminated, so having a good stock of clean, drinkable water is non-negotiable. Next up, let's talk about light and power. It's easy to underestimate just how dependent we are on electricity until we're plunged into darkness. To avoid being left in the dark, literally invest in backup light sources such as solar lanterns or LED flashlights. Don't forget about a power source too. Crank radios and power banks can be lifesavers when it comes to keeping devices charged and maintaining communication with the outside world. Now, let's move on to food. When the power goes out, your regular cooking appliances will be out of commission. This is where you'll need to get a bit creative. Learning to cook without power is an essential survival skill. Consider options like propane stoves, rocket stoves, or solar ovens. These can allow you to prepare warm meals, boil water, and maintain a sense of normalcy during challenging times. But what about when nature calls? Sanitation is a critical aspect of survival that often gets overlooked. In the event of a prolonged power outage, you'll need a plan for toilet use and waste disposal. Composting toilets, portable camping toilets, or even a simple bucket with a toilet seat lid can work. Remember, managing waste effectively is crucial to prevent the spread of diseases. Finally, and perhaps most importantly, you should test your plan. It's one thing to have all the gear and supplies, but it's another to know how to use them effectively under stress. So try living for 72 hours without power. No cheating. This will give you a real sense of what to expect and will help you identify any gaps in your preparation. Survival isn't just about having the right gear or supplies. It's about having the right mindset. It's about understanding that the conveniences we take for granted can disappear in an instant and being prepared for that reality. It's about being proactive, not reactive. So, don't wait for the lights to go out. Start preparing today, because survival starts long before the grid goes down. 72 hours. That's all it takes for modern life to break down. Within a single day, denial and dependence set in as the conveniences we're so accustomed to suddenly disappear. By the second day, panic and societal breakdown begin. Freezers thaw, communication lines go silent, and access to basic services is cut off. By the third day, we're in full collapse mode. Hunger, deteriorating sanitation, and rampant looting make the cities a dangerous place to be. The sad truth is, most people fail before the 72 hours are even up. They lack backup necessities, stored water, non-electric cooking setups, and have no plan for security or sanitation. It's a sobering wake-up call, but it doesn't have to be your reality. With preparation and a tested plan, you can avoid becoming a statistic. If you're not ready for the first 72 hours, you probably won't make it past them.